Hello and welcome to this tutorial video that covers all the latest features of EasyInsight. As you'll know, classic chart analyzers are extremely time consuming and complex because we have to deal with all this individual information of the single currencies. Here in this chart example where we analyze the volume, then we analyze the dynamic of the single currencies and the individual strength. And if that's done and we have useful and promising combination of currencies, then we have to do the single chart analysis, and there we check for support and resistance levels, the individual volatility of this pair, the symbol strength, and here in this sub window we have the individual currency strength analysis, and all these are done on several different analysis periods because we want to cover the long-term trend, the mid-term trend and the short-term. And this is just the information for one trading symbol and currency pair. And so if you want to scan all currency pairs, then the gold trading opportunities, cryptocurrencies and indices, it's pretty much a full-time job, and it's still some kind of error prone because you might oversee a good setup or you can't rely on your personal judgment because you might be emotional or whatever. So I came across this while trading in 2024 and the upcoming hype of AIs, and so I thought how to combine the information I see here in front of me on my charts with the AI engines that become more and more popular. And so I started with screenshots and noticed pretty fast that if you upload a screenshot to an AI engine, and it doesn't matter which one, then the result is in the first moment pretty impressive until you notice that the AI reads values, simple numbers, entirely wrong. So there has been strength values that were nowhere on the chart and I had no idea where they come from. And so I said, okay, AI is indeed a good opportunity if you want to process large data sets, but it has serious problems to interpret chart screenshots. And to fill this gap and achieve a higher reliability, I started to code EasyInsight. And the basic idea behind EasyInsight is that it requests all these indicators from our Stein Investments tool set and also from this one on a currency basis and exports them to CSV files, which we then can upload to the AI, which is way easier for the AI to handle because it's pure data without graphics, no distraction at all. And then we get reliable trade recommendations that usually lead to profits. So let's have a closer look at what EasyInsight is and how it works in detail. To do so, I'll switch to the EasyInsight chart, open its properties to explain the single steps and input properties. Here it's defined which information we request from the indicators, and in this case we use the 5 minutes chart time frame as basis, means we request the information from the last closed M5 candle. Then we have an export interval of 1 minute, so the data is overwritten every minute. This is related to the AI prompt where we come later to, and here you can decide if you like to use the local time or the broker time as timestamp for your CSV files. In this section you have to set the correct GMT and DST settings of your broker server. If you don't know it, you can ask your broker support for that information. And now we get to the real interesting stuff. And this is the amazing capability of EasyInsight and how wide it's able to cover symbols and information. As you can see, you can cover Forex symbols, metals, crypto symbols, and indices. It's designed to work automatically without you inserting any symbol names. This is only necessary for shares. So if you have a broker that provides information about a specific share like Apple, Tesla, or whatever you like to get an analysis for as well, then you can add the individual symbol name here as well, and EasyInsight will run the analysis and export the data here as well. For all others, like crypto for example, just enable it to true, and then you get information about all the available crypto symbols here in your broker. In this case, at IC Markets, it's pretty many. Some brokers provide less than that, some provide even more, but it's just amazing. You can scan and analyze an entire market just with a click and get really reliable information you can then send to the AI and get trade recommendations for. That's just outstanding. I can't even imagine trading without this tool, and it's just an experience on its own. You have to see it to believe it. I'm sorry for being carried away by emotions, but this is just an amazing experience. So back to the settings. Of course, you can decide whether to go with all 28 FX pairs or just the majors. Here you can enable gold and silver, and as I said, you can enable crypto and indices as well. Here down below we have the time-lapse export settings, and these settings are especially interesting because you can create some kind of market history, which is excellent for a detailed market analysis and to improve the reliability of the given trading recommendations. Means if you enable this, I think it's enabled by default, then EasyInsight will export a market screenshot every 15 minutes. You can set it to 5 minutes or whatever. I don't think 5 minutes is necessary. I'm trading the M5 time frame intraday, and I'm perfectly fine with this 15 minutes export interval, because I usually send 3 to 4 of these CSV files to the AI that covers 45 to 60 minutes of market data, and then I ask for a trade recommendation based on the market history of the last hour, and I get definitely excellent recommendations that usually work perfectly fine. So, but yes, this time-lapse export is really an excellent tool. We'll see when we send the data to the AI later in this video. When we write so much data, we have to clean up as well, and that's what this setting section is for. It's pretty much self-explaining. Here you can just decide how long you like to keep these data files, and when they are outdated, they will be deleted automatically. Starting from here, we decide which indicators we like to use and what kind of information we request from them. Starting with FX volume, we use our usual net long percentage change, the volume percentage change, based on a 1 hour comparison as seen in the first chart with the currency overview. And if you don't have this tool, you can just simply set this to false. But if you have, just enable it, and EasyInsight will request it and export the corresponding information to the CSV files. Here's also a parameter where you can enable to export our trading experience we have with FX volume to the AI prompt as well. This gives the AI a bit more context, and the same is available for FX power, as you can see down below. In the FX power settings, which we'll see here, it is enabled. We use the classic calculation type, which is the standard for MT5. The available no synchronization is used and sometimes necessary for MT4 users, because MT4 unfortunately processes the data 10 times slower than MT5, and so in case you have a speed issue, choose the no sync option here. Then we use our usual setup of 4 hours for the short-term analysis, 1 day for the midterm, and 1 week for the long-term strength analysis. And here you can also define custom modes if you like. We have drop-down lists with predefined modes, and if yours is not there, you can define your own here in this section. Then we have IX power, which is responsible for the symbol strength analysis. So it doesn't check all pairs of a currency, it's focused on the chart symbol data, and hence it's useful for all kind of trading symbols because it can analyze currency pairs as well as indices or cryptocurrencies. And we use the same setup of strength analysis here as seen in FX Power above. Then we have FX Dynamic, where we usually export a 20-day ATR information and volatility information based on the 1-day analysis, just to get a better insight of how far the market already moved or if there is some potential for a trade. Then we have the FX levels tool, which is responsible for the amazing precise support and resistance detection, which is used for stop loss and take profit, which you can also see then in the analysis result. Then we have OHLC data for 15 minutes, 1 hour and 1 day. In this case, you can also decide whatever you like. It will be exported according to your needs. And now available with version 2.17 are the standard indicator settings as well. Before we use professional and sophisticated indicators like the FX series you've seen above, we all started with the standard free indicators that are available at every trading terminal. And hence we integrated it to EasyInsight as well, because there are plenty of users that still use the old standard indicators in combination with the professional new ones. And hence we made the most popular available here, such as the ADX, then the Bollinger Bands, where you can configure as you like, as you use them on your chart. Then we have the CCI, we have Ichimoku settings, then the moving average, then we have the MACD, RSI, and the stochastic. This is the last one. We embedded 8 of them, and we'll hope this suits you well, and we are really looking forward to your feedback in this regard, and I hope this helps to represent in the exported file exactly the trading setup you use on your trading charts. At the end of the properties, there is a schedule which you can enable if you like. So if you run it on a VPS like I do in this case, I can just say, okay, I'm not trading during the Asian session or during the New York session, and so I can exclude it and limit my export to a specific schedule. You can do that as you like, or just export it 24 hours a day as I do here in this example. Here we get some information of where the data is saved. It's saved to your files folder, to your terminal's files folder. There is a separate folder called EasyInsight, and then there is a subfolder for each category, starting with Forex, metals, crypto, indices, and extra. One thing about metals, because we have the same information for gold as for the main 8 currencies, we export them in the same data file. So if you are looking for the gold data, you will find it in the Forex folder. It's different for other metals like silver, where we don't have the same depth of market information. This one is separately exported to the metals folder. Just as an explanation why this is different and sometimes, of course, a bit confusing, but it's mainly due to the amazing popularity of gold, which is traded worldwide very often, same as currencies, and so we have more data which is more in line with the Forex information, and hence we export that in one data file. Here are just some status information. You can keep that by default. The extended logging is only necessary in case you find some kind of issue, and it's usually only enabled if we as supporter ask for that to get some detailed information. But in 99% of all cases, you'll never have to change any of these settings. So that's it. These are the properties and input parameters for EasyInsight. And if we have now a closer look to the data file of your terminal, you can open here, open data folder, then go to MQL5, files, and there is EasyInsight with the 4 categories of data. I would say we start with Forex. There you see there is a prompt file that is relevant to tell the AI what kind of data you send and what do you want from the AI. And then we have the data files itself. In this folder, you have one data file for each day, which is overwritten every minute. As I said, there is an interval of 1 minute, so this data is overwritten in the next minute. So if you like to have a single file analysis, which is suitable for most free models of the AI providers, you don't have to pay for that. In most cases, if you send just one file, then I recommend using this single data file, which contains all the information you need, along with the prompt. I'll check in detail here in the Timelapse folder, where you see there is the market data history for the past hours and days. Now it's correctly sorted. 11:44 is the latest one from 4 minutes ago, and I usually use a time-lapse analysis with up to 4 CSV files and this AI prompt, which is automatically generated based on the indicators you enabled. So if you didn't enable the ADX because you don't use it, then there is no information about the ADX. Same is true for Bollinger Bands or for one of our indicators, FX power, FX volume, as you like. The AI prompt is exactly tailored to the data you export. With a bit of detailed information, you can go through that if you like in detail. I won't do it because I would have to read all that. But you see there is detailed information about FX power, there's detailed information about FX volume, and you define what do you want from the AI. You say list all promising buy or sell setups and provide symbol, direction with current price, risk reward calculation based on close relative to SL and TP, and give me a brief explanation for the setup suggestion. Of course, you can adjust this prompt if you like. You can also use the AI to improve that. If you send it to the AI and say, hey, how can I improve this prompt? Is there any potential? How would you do it? Then do that, but then please don't forget to save it as an extra file, because this standard prompt will be overwritten at the next program start, just to ensure you have a correct standard prompt if you need it. So if you want to adjust it and modify it, just use this, copy it to another folder, and then you can modify it as you like. I would say we'll have a closer look of what's inside these CSV files. And here you can see it in detail. You have the symbols you're monitoring along with the market total volume change listed here, which is relevant for your timing. And there is the base strength 4 hours, quote strength for hours means base is euro, quote is US dollar, and then you have the delta between them. The same is true for the midterm trend and the long-term trend here, the 1 week. And then we have the volume information, base, quote, net long, etc., etc. Then comes IX power with the individual symbol strength, which provides more precision on the individual trading symbol. Then we have the ATR information from FX Dynamics, S1 and R1 level from FX levels. Then we have the OHLC market data. Next is the bid and ask price, the current spread and the spread in percent, which is here very low in Forex, but if we move on to crypto, you'll see the difference. There it is relevant. And then we have all the standard indicator information exported here as well. This is so amazing, huge data set. I'm really curious to see what the AI will provide as trade recommendations, getting so much data. So to see the difference in the spreads, I'll switch to the crypto section. And here I use the latest data file quickly. And then, of course, there is no information from FX power or FX volume, but there is a single symbol strength information, ATR, S1, R1, as before in Forex, OHLC data, and then we come to the spread information. And it's pretty reasonable in most cases, even though it's significantly higher than on trading Forex. And there are some extremes, like this one here with 14% spread. This is horrible because you have to pay the spread twice when buying and when selling. And so you need to have at least more than 30% profit to cover your costs. That's why we added this information, because it helps you and the AI to identify really promising setups, not only based on technical analysis, but also considering the real trading conditions as well. So enough theory. I would say we close that and go back to the Forex folder and send some CSV files along with our prompt to the AI. To do so, I just mark these files, say copy, then I have already opened Perplexity AI, Perplexity Pro, which is currently my most favorite AI provider in this regard. So I insert the data files and then I'll switch to the prompt I opened before, mark that as well, copy the text and insert it here. Why Perplexity Pro? Because it offers you the opportunity to choose between the most popular AI models available on the market for just a single subscription. It costs $20 per month. It's pretty much the same as every other AI provider, but it offers the opportunity that you can say, I want to work with Claude or with ChatGPT. You can also use several ones in different threads and then compare the results, which a few of our users already do, to see if they get the same recommendations, if there is something that matches in several AI trade recommendations to increase their profitability and win rate. I usually use the best selection where Perplexity decides which is the best tool and model for my query, and then send it over. And I would say, let's press the button and let the magic happen. So it has already imported the 4 attached data files, analyzing recent market data to identify potential buy or sell opportunities, etc., etc. This goes pretty quickly. It usually takes only a few minutes, and then you get the trade recommendations based on the data you send to the AI. I wanted to make a quick break in the recording, but that's not even necessary because it's been so quick today. And let's see what the recommendations are. Setup table, currently Euro AUD. Okay, that's interesting. There is only one recommendation based on this mass of data. Okay, that's fine. Then I would say we have a look at this pair and see if this is really promising. This was the wrong one. I want Euro Aussie dollar. There it is. So we have the euro with some strength. I see it here. Short term is above the midterm and the long term is neutral, while the Aussie dollar is showing dynamic in the opposite direction. And we can also see it here that there is some dynamic to the buy side. The ATR information is here 58%. There is a lot of potential left, in my opinion, and there is no SR level in sight. So the next one is here, 4 days old, and I would say we go here with a buy trade. Don't use this SR level because it's a pretty new one, but maybe if you want it's more secure, we can use the daily low and go for the 4 days old resistance level as profit target. So you see, it's pretty much it. In my opinion, it can't be easier than that, because we send data for 30 plus symbols, Forex plus all the gold symbols to the AI. We send market history for the last hour, precise information over a bunch of indicators, and then it analyzes this data and sends you a clear recommendation. You can then check on your chart and trade. In my opinion, it can't be easier than that. No more staring on charts, no more switching through all the symbols to get information what is really promising or not. So I let this run, and I'm pretty curious about the outcome, but you can see this is really trading as it should be. It's a piece of cake for everyone. Doesn't matter which kind of experience you have. This is just perfect, in my opinion. Last but not least, the most important question is where to get this brilliant tool. And as you might already know, we have a central information hub. This is our welcome at Stein Investments page. Already a lot of views generated here. And in chapter 3, you will find our AI-powered utilities and smart tools. EasyInsight is here available as standard version and as all-in-one version. And I'd like to explain the difference between those. EasyInsight, the standard version, was initially designed for those users that already have our tools, that have licenses for FX Dynamic, FX Power, FX Volume, whatever you like. Then you just need this third-party tool that requests these indicators and exports the data. That's EasyInsight standard. EasyInsight AIO has been designed for those that never got in touch with any of our indicators, or just want a simple comfort solution where all indicators are already embedded. But they are only embedded to export data. They are not available for chart analysis, as you can see here. If you want to use the indicators on chart as well, I highly recommend buying the indicator licenses separately and EasyInsight, the standard version. If you prefer just a pure data export without any chart analysis at all, then you can go for the EasyInsight AIO version, available for MT4, MT5. There's also an FAQ that explains all of that again. And this video link is the link to this video you are currently watching. So to summarize, if you don't need any visuals at all, you can go with EasyInsight AIO. You get the pure EasyInsight Expert Advisor that exports data, no indicator graphics. If you like to use EasyInsight as I do and need the indicators for the trade execution as seen in my chart, then I recommend using EasyInsight, the standard version. All these mentioned indicators are also available here at our central information page. You'll find them a bit below, and there are the direct links to the product pages. We'll provide a direct link to our Welcome at Stein Investments page, and if you like to get more information or get in touch with us, just drop me a line and I'll be happy to assist. Thanks for your attention, thanks for watching. Enjoy trading with EasyInsight and our professional trading indicators. We're pretty sure you will like it, and if you send a confirmation of your purchase, you will become part of our amazing trading community. Just drop us a line and we'll send you your personal invite link. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.